Buuza Kamisona.
Thank you. The next question is from Joshua of Bukasa. And Joshua says, I want to know the tax on agribusiness. It is that brief. And agribusiness is such a wide scope. There are people who are involved in the actual production, agriculture at a commercial level. They are considered to be in agribusiness. And if you're such a taxpayer producing for commercial purposes, you have a big farm, you earn an income from that, the only payable tax is income tax at the end of the year. Whether you're in animal farming or you are in production of crops, after you have made your sales, file your return on how much you have earned from your sales, less how much you have spent in inputs, in labor, and all your costs. And if you still have an income or gross profit, then you'll pay income tax, which is 30% of your gross profit. But the other area that is under agribusiness are those who add value to agricultural products. Either you add value on the milk to convert it into yogurt or cheese. Now those products that are vatable, like the examples I've given, you will, on top of the income tax, also pay VAT because you are dealing in a vatable value-added agricultural product. So that means on a monthly, you'll also pay VAT based on how much you've sold, the VAT you've collected on what you've sold, minus the VAT that you incurred in your inputs. Inputs like power, inputs like packaging materials, you'll pay VAT on them when you're buying them. So the difference between your VAT output and VAT input, you'll also pay it. The other category that are involved in agriculture are those who trade in agricultural products. Maybe you consolidate, pick from farmers, and then you take to the market. Again, the only applicable tax will be income tax when you have made profits from that kind of business. And of course, the advisory services. You advise in agriculture, you are paid consultancy fees. Again, you will only pay income tax, and if the services you provide are vatable, you'll also pay VAT. It's important to note that there are good incentives in agro business. One of the major incentives for those who are setting up factories to add value, you are entitled to a 10-year tax holiday of income tax. And there are thresholds that you must meet to benefit from this exemption. So for foreigners who are coming to set up factories here to add value to agricultural products, as long as they invest at least $10 million, they will be able to get a 10-year tax holiday from paying income tax. So you don't pay any income tax for 10 years. And if you're a citizen, things are even much better than if you're a foreigner. Because for a citizen, as long as you invest $300,000 in any agro-processing facility, you will also benefit from a 10-year tax holiday. Income tax exemption for 10 years. And that is if the factory is around Kampala. But if your factory is even smaller, out of the city of Kampala, and you have just invested $150,000, you still get the same benefit, 10-year income tax holiday. So every citizen who wants to enjoy this benefit, it's available to you, because many times you hear our citizens saying it is only foreigners who get exemptions. No, for agro-processing, as citizens, And now we are talking about citizens of East Africa, not just Uganda, because this will apply to citizens of the East African community. You can benefit from a 10-year tax holiday as long as you meet these thresholds. So generally, agro-processing is one of the most incentivized and exempted area. As you've heard, you can only pay income tax if you don't meet those exemptions, those thresholds for exemption, or if you meet them, then you don't have those taxes to pay. However, this is not to take away the fact that if you employ people, those staff of yours will pay as you earn, and you'll only be a collecting agent to charge them pay as you earn, and you remit it to government.
Buuza Kamisona. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them. Buuza Kamisona.
Thank you. So the next question is from a gentleman called Andiyadu Christopher from Kira. And Christopher is asking about tax identification number. His first question is, how can I get a TIN? His next question is, what are the essential requirements for getting a TIN? Now, Christopher, URA has fully automated the process of getting a TIN. First of all, a TIN is a tax identification number. This is unique for every taxpayer. So you can get this TIN as an individual. An individual, you either have a job, you want to submit your pay as you earn, or you have a business as an individual and you want to pay your business taxes, whether it is VAT, whether it is income tax, whether it is withholding tax. So what you have to do is apply for a TIN. Now, when you go to our website, our portal, which is www.ura.go.ug, and you look at the tab on domestic taxes, there you'll find another tab which says register for TIN. When you click that tab, it will give you like 4 options. And the first option is to get your TIN instantly. It says instant TIN. The next one is individual TIN. The next one is non-individual, and the next one is group registration. Now, under instant TIN, you do not have to upload anything on the system. What you'll do, you click on that tab and you enter your NIN, your national identity number. So that gives us who you are as an individual. And then next, you also indicate your source of income. So either you are salaried, you are an employee who will earn a salary, or you're a business person who will pay your taxes as an individual. By the time you click submit, our processes will quickly verify that you're a bona fide citizen who needs the TIN, and you will immediately get a message on your phone giving you your TIN. So that's why you call it instant TIN. You get it within seconds of asking for it. However, if you choose the option of individual, it will give you an Excel sheet, and you open that sheet and you enter some information about you as an individual. You will enter your NIN, you will enter your passport, you will enter the nature of your business, and you upload. And of course, you enter your email. So we will send you back through your email your TIN registration, your TIN identification number. Then, if you're applying as a non-individual, now this is for companies. When you're applying for non-individual, we will ask you again to put some information, the company name, if you are an NGO, the certificate of your NGO. If you're a government parastatal, you'll enter again which government parastatal you are, if you're a SACCO. So non-individual meets all those different groups that are not individual taxpayers, And the requirements are a little more. So when you open, you will see the list of requirements. If you're a company, you must enter your company registration certificate, and so on and so on. And that one is not given instantly because there is need to verify. And after we have verified, in 2 days max, we shall give you your TIN.
Buuza Kamisona. Now you can get direct answers. Send your tax-related questions via WhatsApp or SMS to 0790-141-887, and the Commissioner General of URA, John Musinguzi, will personally address them.
I'd like to thank all our clients, our valued taxpayers, the people that we serve as we collect revenue for building our nation. I thank you very much for the questions you have sent through this program of Buuza Kamisona. On behalf of URA, I would like to pledge that we are committed and we will continue to answer all the questions that you ask through this platform. The whole purpose for this program is to ensure that your pain points, your questions are efficiently responded to. So I would like to encourage all our taxpayers who have questions to ask to please utilize this program that we are running on UBC, that will be receiving your questions through the numbers that you've been given, and URA will be available to answer these questions every Monday and every Wednesday during the 8 o'clock news bulletin. And then on Sunday, after the news, we'll have a full response to all the questions that will have come in during the week. I thank UBC for supporting us in reaching our taxpayers, and I thank our taxpayers for responding positively to this program. Thank you very much.
Buuza Kamisona.